So welcome back again students to another video lesson. So after ng 2 weeks na lessons nyo sa factoring polynomials, on the third and fourth week of our lessons in grade 8 math quarter 1, so we will be studying rational algebraic expressions. So kahit natapos na yung lessons natin sa factoring polynomials, so gagamitin pa rin natin yung mga factoring techniques sa rational algebraic expression, most especially sa pag-simplify and yung pag-perform ng operations on rational algebraic expressions. So let's start. So for our lesson objectives, first one, we will be defining and illustrating rational algebraic expressions. We will also be evaluating rational algebraic expressions. And finally, we will look for the value or values that makes a rational algebraic expression undefined. So let's start our discussion by defining rational algebraic expression. So a rational algebraic expression is an expression that can be written in the form of P over Q, where P and Q are polynomials and Q is not equal to 0. So nung grade 7 kayo, pinag-aralan nyo yung rational numbers. So by the way, when we say rational numbers, a rational number is a number that can be written in the form of P over Q. And then, same thing then, Q should not be equal to 0. Why is it Q should not be equal to 0? It's because magkakaroon tayo ng undefined na sagot. Okay, indeterminate. And then, P and Q are polynomials. So there are types of polynomials. So it can be monomial with one term, binomial with two terms, trinomial with three terms. Pag more than 3 na siya, polynomial na siya. So let's now have examples of rational algebraic expressions. So we have x over y, so wherein x is a polynomial and y is a polynomial too. What else? 2x over 13 is also a rational algebraic expression. Same with negative a squared all over b cubed. And then binomial over binomial, which is m minus 4 over all over m plus 5 is also an algebraic expression. 3x cubed all over 2x squared minus 9. X squared minus 4x plus 5, which is a trinomial term. And then all over 2x plus 7, which is a binomial. This is also an irrational algebraic expression. And lastly, 5y squared plus y minus 3 all over y squared minus 5y plus 2 is also a rational algebraic expression. So if we have rational algebraic expressions, we also have examples of non-rational algebraic expressions. So here are the examples. So for number 1, x raised to 1/2 all over 4. So what makes this a non-rational algebraic expression? Yung pong exponent na 1/2. So wala po kasing fractional exponent ang mga rational expressions. Number 2, x squared minus 3x plus 9 all over 0. So you can see, yung denominator po is 0. So according to the definition of a rational algebraic expression, Q should not be equal to 0, wherein Q is the denominator of the given expression. So magiging undefined po kasi. Likewise, our third example, negative 3y squared all over negative 2 plus 2. So if we will be adding negative 2 and 2, that will become negative 3y squared all over 0. Again, the denominator is 0, so this expression will become undefined. And lastly, x squared minus 2 square root of x plus 3 all over x plus 5. So what makes this expression a non-rational expression? So dun po sa square root of x. So ang square root of x po kasi kapag tinransform natin siya, magiging x raised to 1/2. Again, bawal po ang fractional exponent sa mga rational expressions. So I hope naging clear sa inyo yung difference between a rational algebraic expression and non-algebraic expressions. So one way of defining an algebraic expression is through its integral exponents, including negative and zero exponents. So with this, we will be recalling laws of exponents. So yung first type natin is product of powers. Expressions multiplied with same bases add the exponents. That is, a raised to m times a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. So, ang gagawin lang po natin dito, once na pareho na yung base, i-add lang natin yung mga exponent. So, by the way, yung base po, ito po yung variable a. And then, yung mga exponents, yung m tsaka n. So, let's have examples. 2 raised to 3 or 2 cubed times 2 raised to the 4th power is equal to, that is 2 raised to 3 plus 4. So, we will be adding 3 and 4. So, that is 2 raised to 7. So, pwede rin natin siyang isulat as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and times 2. So, why is it 7 times kung sinulat yung 2? It's because of the exponent 7. Now, we will be simplifying 2 raised to 7. So, hindi lang po kasi final answer natin dito is 2 raised to 7. So, we need to raise 7 or multiply 2 7 times to itself. So, that is 128. Okay. So, kapag sinulat nyo lang po is 2 raised to 7, mali po yun. Okay, dapat po 128. Next example, 3 raised to negative 2 times 3 raised to 5. So, ang gagawin lang natin dito ulit, add natin yung mga exponents kasi same bases naman. So, negative 2 plus 5, that is 3. So, 3 cubed. So, 3 cubed can be written as 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. Last example, so we'll have x to the 5th power times x cubed. So, same process, kasi pareho naman sila ng bases. So, x raised to 5 plus 3, that is x raised to 8, or may be written as x times x times x times x. So, 8 times po natin isusulat yung x. So, can we simplify x times x times x times x? Yan, yun po. So, since variable lang po sila, so our final answer here is x raised to 8. The next law of exponent is power of a power. Expressions raised to a number is raised by another number, multiply the exponents. That is, the quantity of a raised to m raised to n. So, is equal to a raised to the product of m and n. So, let's have examples. So, the quantity of 5 squared raised to 2. Okay, so ang gagawin lang natin dito, 5 raised to 2 times 2. Okay, so 2 times 2, that is 4. So, 5 raised to 4 may be written as 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is equal to 625. So, this will be our final answer. Next, the quantity of y cubed raised to 4 will become y raised to 3 times 4 is equal to y raised to 12. So, this will be our final answer. So, kung isusulat natin siya, kagaya nung ito, so, 12 times natin siyang isusulat. So, let's have the third law. Power of a product. Expressions raised by a number, multiply the exponents, and multiply the expressions. So, that is, so yung una po, so, yung mga terms na nasa loob ng parenthesis, i-erase natin dun sa exponent na nasa labas. So, that is, kung may exponent yung mga terms, i-multiply natin sila. And then, yung isa naman, pwede natin i-multiply yung mga terms na nasa loob ng parenthesis. So, and then, i-erase natin siya sa exponent ng nasa labas ng parenthesis. So, for you to be able to understand power of a product, so let's have examples. Halimbawa, ito. The quantity of 3 squared a to the 6 squared. So, ang mangyayari po dito, 3 raised to 2 times 2, a raised to 6 times 2. So, 2 times 2, that is 4. So, 3 raised to 4, tapos 6 times 2, that is 12. So, 3 raised to 4, a raised to 12. So, we need to simplify 3 raised to the 4th power, that is 81, and then a raised to 12. So, pwede rin po natin na i-express muna yung 3 squared. Okay, so 3 squared, that is 9. And then, copy a raised to 6, tsaka natin i-raise sa 2. So 9 squared, that is 81. A raised to 6 squared, magiging 6 times 2, 12. So as you can see, pareho lang po naman na sagot ang nakuha. So let's have number 2. And the quantity of x cubed y to the 5th power raised to 4, magiging x raised to 3 times 4, y raised to 5 times 4, equals, so 3 times 4, that is 12. So x raised to 12, and then 5 times 4, that is 20. So y raised to 20. So since magkaiba po ng terms yung ating nasa loob na parenthesis, so our final answer will be x raised to 12, y raised to 20. So for our next law, quotient of powers, expressions divided with the same bases, subtract the exponents, that is a raised to m all over v raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus a n. So kung sa product of powers, nagsusubtract tayo kapag same bases, dito naman sa quotient of powers, isusubtract naman natin yung exponents ng mga same bases. So examples, number 1, 2 raised to 9 all over 2 raised to 4, that is 2 raised to 9 minus 4. So 9 minus 4 is 5. So 2 raised to 5, so pwede siyang isulat as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And then 2 raised to the 5th power, that is 32. So our final answer is 32, not 2 raised to the 5th power. Next, x raised to the 5th power all over x squared, that is x raised to 5 minus 2. So 5 minus 2 is 3. So x cubed may be expressed as x times x times x. So our final answer here is x cubed. Next, we have negative exponents. Expressions with negative exponents must be moved to denominator to become positive exponents and vice versa. So, kapag yung given natin negative exponent siya, kailangan natin siyang i-move sa denominator. And then kapag naman yung nasa denominator may negative exponents, baliktad naman. Lalagay natin siya, ililipat natin siya sa numerator para maging positive. So let's have examples. Ayan, 6 raised to negative 3. So ang gagawin lang natin, 1 all over 6 cubed. And then 6 cubed, so i-multiply natin yung 6 ng tatlong beses. So 6 times 6 times 6, that is 216. So our final answer is 1 over 216. Next, number 2, 1 over 8 raised to negative 2. So ang gagawin lang natin, yung 8 raised to negative 2, dalhin natin siya sa numerator. So magiging 8 squared siya. And 8 squared is 64. So this will be our final answer. Next, p raised to negative 10, that is 1 all over p raised to 10. So, ayan. This will be our final answer. Next, kapag naman x raised to negative 3 all over y raised to negative 3, so, ang numerator may term na negative exponents, ganun din sa denominator. So, ang pinakamadaling paraan lang dito is pagpalitin natin yung pwesto. So, magiging ganito po siya nun. Y cubed all over x cubed. So, as you can see, nagpalit yung pwesto and then naging positive exponents na sila. So, yun lang po yung negative exponents. So, yung pinaka-last na law natin, ito yung pinakamadali sa lahat. So, that is zero exponent. Expressions raised to 0 is equivalent to 1. That is a raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, any polynomial raised to 0, the answer is 1. Okay. Let's have examples. Ayan. 4 raised to 0, that is 1. Okay, so yun lang po siya. And then, the quantity of x, y, z raised to 0, that is also 1. So kahit na isulat mo pa lahat ng mga letters ng English alphabet dyan, from A to Z, basta naka-raise siya sa 0, dun sa labas ng parenthesis, 1 lang po din ang sagot. And then, number 3, 1 all over the quantity of a cubed b squared c raised to 0. So, magiging 1 po yung ating denominator. Magiging 1 over 1 and 1 over 1 is 1. So, pag ganito naman po, like for example, x squared, y cubed, z raised to 0. So, as you can see, yung z lang po na variable ang naka-raise sa 0. So, ang final answer po natin dito is x squared, y cubed. So, hindi na po kasali yung z. So, 1 lang po kasi ang value nun. Kahit i-multiply natin siya sa x squared, y cubed, ito pa rin po ang final answer. Next, we will also be evaluating rational algebraic expressions. So how do we evaluate rational algebraic expressions? So to evaluate rational algebraic expressions, substitute a particular number for each variable and perform the indicated operations. So we have there the word particular number. So based lang po sa given value or number, yun lang po ang pwede nating i-substitute sa bawat variable or variables. So, depende po sa given expression. So, let's have example number 1. So, if m is equal to 2 and n is equal to negative 7, find m plus n, m minus n, m squared minus n squared. So, una muna, m plus n. So, the value of m is 2. The value of n is negative 7. So, 2 plus negative 7, that is negative 5. So, we follow the sign of the bigger value and then we proceed to subtraction. Next, m minus n. So, m is 2 and then minus the value of n, that is negative 7. So, kapag subtraction, we change to the sign of the subtrahend. Negative 7 will become positive and then minus will become plus. So, 2 plus 7, that is 9. Next, m squared minus n squared. So, m, that is 2 squared, minus n, that is negative 7, raised to 2. 2 squared, or 2 times 2, that is 4, minus negative 7 raised to 2, that is negative 7 times negative 7, positive 49. Now, 4 minus 49, that is negative 45. Next, example number 2. If a is equal to 3 and b is equal to negative 2, find 4a plus 7b and 4a minus 7b. So, dun muna tayo sa 4a plus 7b. So, 4 times the value of a, 3, plus 7, the value of b, negative 2. So, 4 times 3, that is 12, plus 7 times negative 2, that is negative 14. So, if we will be adding 12 and negative 14, our answer is negative 2. Next, 4a minus 7b. So, 4 times the value of a, again, 3, minus 7b. So, b, that is negative 2. 4 times 3, that is 12. Minus 7 times negative 2, that is negative 14. And then we change the sign of the subtrahend. That will become 12 plus 14. So our final answer is 26. Example number 3. If x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 5, find 2x minus 3y squared and x squared plus 4y. So, dito muna tayo sa 2x minus 3y squared. So, 2 times the value of x, that is negative 1, minus 3 times the value of y, 5, raised to 2. So, 2 times negative 1, that is negative 2. Minus 3 times 5 squared, that is 25. So, kapag ganito po, may parenthesis and then naka-raise sa exponent, yun muna po dapat ang ating pinakikialaman. So, hindi po pwedeng 3 times 5 tapos squared. So, magiging 15 squared. Mali po yun. So, 5 squared muna po and then times 3. Next, negative 2 minus the product of 3 and 25 is 75. So, negative 2 minus 75, that is negative 77. Next, x squared plus 4y. X, that is negative 1 squared plus 4 times the value of y, 5. Negative 1 squared, that is 1, plus 4 times 5, that is 20. So 1 plus 20 is 21. So for our last example, if p is equal to 8 and q is equal to negative 6, find p plus 2 all over 4 minus q squared and q squared minus 9 all over 7p plus 18. So p plus 2 all over 4 minus q squared. So the value of p is 8 plus 2 all over 4 minus q, that is negative 6 squared. Next, 8 plus 2, that is 10 over 4 minus, so negative 6 raised to 2, that is 36. 10 over, so 4 minus 36, that is negative 32. And then we simplify negative 10 over 32 or negative 5 over 16. So this will be our final answer. Sulat natin siya dito, negative 5 over 16. Next, q squared minus 9 all over 7p plus 18. Okay. And then, q is negative 6 squared minus 9 all over 7 times p, that is 8, plus 18. Okay. Next, negative 6 squared, that is 36, minus 9 over 7 times 8, that is 56, plus 18. So, rewrite lang natin dito, 36 minus 9, that is 27, all over, so 56 plus 18, that is 74. So, we cannot simplify 27 over 74 kasi wala po silang greatest common factor kundi 1, other than 1. So, this will be our final answer. So, after we evaluate rational algebraic expressions, so the next question will be, how do rational algebraic expressions become undefined? A rational algebraic expression is undefined when its denominator is equal to 0. To determine the restricted values, equate the terms on the denominator to 0 and solve the resulting equation. So, meaning nga po ng rational algebraic expressions, so it can be written as P over Q, wherein P and Q are polynomials, and then meron siyang condition na Q should not be equal to 0 kasi nga magiging undefined. So let's have example number 1. What makes the expression 2x over 5 undefined? Okay. So ang gagawin lang natin dito, yung denominator na 5, equate natin sa 0. Now, is 5 equal to 0? No. So 5 is not equal to 0. So therefore, there is no restricted value that would make 2x over 5 undefined. What about number 2? Determine the value of x that makes the expression 8 over x plus 5 meaningless. So other term for undefined, meaningless. So yung denominator natin is x plus 5. We equate it to 0. And then, it will become x plus 5 is equal to 0, which is a linear equation. And then, to remove 5 on the left side, we need to subtract 5 to both sides. So that is x plus 5 minus 5 is equal to 0 minus 5. And then, x is equal to 0 minus 5, that is negative 5. So, yung hinahanap natin na positive value ng x na magiging meaningless yung given expression, that is negative 5. So, to check, 8 all over the value of x, negative 5, plus 5. So, if we add negative 5 and 5, that is 0. So, 8 over 0, this is undefined. Example number 3. If 2x plus 3 all over x minus 9 is an expression, identify the value of x that makes it undefined. So, again, x minus 9 is equal to 0. And then we add 9 to both sides. So x minus 9 plus 9 is equal to 0 plus 9. So x is equal to 0 plus 9, that is 9. So the value of x that we are looking for is 9. So to check, 2x minus 3 all over x minus 9. So 2 times 9 minus 3 over 9 minus 9. So 2 times 9, that is 18, minus 3 over 0. So 18 minus 3, that is 15 over 0. Again, we cannot divide 15 by 0. So the answer is undefined. Number 4, find the value or values of x that will make the expression x plus 3 all over x squared minus 25 meaningless. So yung ating term na nasa denominator, x squared minus 25 is equal to 0. Then, we can factor x squared minus 25 using difference of two squareds. So, square root of x squared tsaka square root of 25. Okay, so magiging x minus 5 times x plus 5 is equal to 0. So, remember, kapag factoring difference of two squares, pareho po yung mga terms, and then magkaiba lang po sila ng sign. So, and then we equate each term to 0. So, rewrite lang natin. X minus 5 is equal to 0. So, we add 5 to both sides. So, x is equal to 5. X plus 5 is equal to 0. We will be subtracting 5 to both sides. That is, x is equal to negative 5. So, yung mga restricted values na hinahanap natin dito are x equals 5 and x is equal to negative 5. Okay. So, kapag chinek po natin yan, i-substitute po natin dito sa x squared minus 25. So, 5 squared, that is 25. Minus 25, 0 na po agad. So, undefined pa rin po yun. And then, kapag negative 5 naman, negative 5, square natin ulit. That is positive 25. Minus 25, 0 ulit yung denominator. Again, undefined ulit siya. So, ito po yung ating mga sagot. So, next example, identify the restricted value or values that makes the expression 3x minus 2 all over x squared plus 7x plus 10 undefined. So, yung ating denominator dito ay trinomial. So, we can factor x squared plus 7 plus 10. So, x squared plus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0. So, using general quadratic trinomial, so what are the factors of 10? That when added will give a sum of 7, the coefficient of the middle term. So that is 5 and 2. So sulat natin x plus 5 times x plus 2 is equal to 0. So if we equate each term to 0, that will become x plus 5 is equal to 0. X plus 2 is equal to 0. So x plus 5 is equal to 0. That is x is equal to negative 5. X plus 2 equals 0. That is x is equal to negative 2. So, to check, so 3x minus 2. So, 3 times negative 5 minus 2 all over negative 5 squared plus 7 times negative 5 plus 10. Next, 3 times negative 5, that's negative 15, minus 2, over negative 5 squared, that is 25. 7 times negative 5, that is negative 35, plus 10. Next, negative 15 minus 2, that is negative 17. And then, 25 minus 35 plus 10. So, i-combine natin ng 25 tsaka yung 10. 35 minus 35, that is 0. So, kapag x is equal to negative 5, undefined po. What about x equals negative 2? Substitute lang po natin yung negative 2. Okay. 3 times negative 2, that is negative 6. Minus 2 all over negative 2 squared, that is 4. 7 times negative 2, that is negative 14. Plus 10. equals negative 6 minus 2, that is negative 8, all over. So, 4 plus 10, that is 14, minus 14, 0. So, again, our answer will be undefined. So, yung mga restricted value or values na hinahanap natin are negative 5 and negative 2. So, after defining and illustrating rational algebraic expressions, also evaluating rational algebraic expressions, and yung kakatapos lang yung pagkuha natin ng restricted values that will make the expression undefined. So, our next lesson will be simplifying rational algebraic expressions. So, yung mga natutunan nyo kanina, like yung recall natin sa laws of exponents, ma-applied po yan sa susunod na video lesson. So, I hope may natutunan kayo dito sa video lesson na ito. Yun lang, maraming salamat.